Hey, what's up, everybody? So, today we're going to go ahead and jump into another Pauper League. Last time I played a green-white Midnight Gond list, and it felt alright overall. A few things I noticed about that green-white list were that it had a really good matchup against the new Squirrel deck, but a really bad matchup against blue-black. So, if you look back through my videos, I actually did a deck tech that included that green-white list and then two Bant style lists. So, this time we're gonna run it back with one of the Bant lists, and the Bant list gives us access to counter spells as well as the blue cantrips. So I'm going to run through a quick deck tech just because I've changed this Bant list quite a bit since I did that deck tech. But I'll try to make this quick. If you need details or an overview on exactly what the deck's trying to do, go ahead and go back to that other deck tech video that I did for the Midnight Gone deck list. But we'll go ahead and get into this. So I've still got the main combo, 4 Presence of Gone, 4 Midnight Guard. I've gone up to 4 Wardens. I'm playing 2 Essence Wardens and 2 Soul Wardens. This is because the Squirrel Storm deck, the Warden made it really hard for the Squirrel decks to kill in one turn. And they've started playing things like Echoing Truth and Echoing Decay in their sideboard. So I've decided to run a 2-2 split of them since our deck can support it and they're essentially the same card. So aside from our combo, I've got 4 Benevolent Bodyguards here, just like the green-white list, to protect our creatures. And then for this list, I've got 3 Spell Pierces, 3 Prohibits, and an Echoing Truth as additional interaction. Spell Pierces and Prohibits just for cheap counter magic. Uh, our deck is mainly green, so we can't really facilitate counterspell, but Prohibit is a very, very good replacement for counterspell for this style deck. We've also got a full play set of Brainstorms and Ponders and 2 Preordains. I've always preferred Ponder over Preordain. Um, and then we still have our 4 Arborel, 4 Utopia Sprawl ramp package. So the mana base is one of the things I try to focus on a lot. I feel like if our mana slows this deck down too much, it's just not going to be viable overall. So I've tried to smooth this out and play as many basics as I can while hopefully still being able to cast our spells efficiently. So we've got 4 of the blue-green duels that have the land type. Again, we play the ones with the actual mana types or land types so that Utopia Sprawl and Arbor Elf can interact with those. We played 2 of the green-white dual lands. I've gone down to 2 Ash Barrens, which is a little suspect because we're adding Brainstorm and removing ways to shuffle our deck. Um, it doesn't seem like the greatest way to go about things, but like I said, I don't want the mana base to slow us down too much, and there's not a whole lot of things in the deck that the Ash Baron's colorless mana can help us play. I've got 8 basic forests, 2 basic islands, 1 basic plains. So in the sideboard, I've opted for a pretty sizable counter suite. We've got 2 negates, 2 hydroblasts, and a dispel. Uh, these can come in against really any deck that has non-creature spells that interact with our deck, or can race us or shut us down in other ways. Um, 2 Echoing Truths, these are great mainly against aggressive decks and the Squirrel deck. Scattershot Archer is my concession that I am absolutely ill prepared to face against blue black fairies. So this card I saw pop up in a few sideboards while I was looking around, and it seems like an interesting pick. It could definitely help us not lose to Spell Stutter Sprites and Fairy Seers in the air. We've got 2 Moments Peace and 2 Weather the Storm. These are good for aggro, but also against the Squirrel deck. And then I've got 2 Return to Nature. Affinity seems to be quite popular at the moment with all the new indestructible dual artifact lands coming into the format. Unfortunately, we don't have a whole lot else that's great against Affinity. The Dispels and Hydroblast can help against Fling and Atog. Echoing Truth is definitely not the ideal removal spell against Affinity because a lot of their spells become free the more artifacts they have in play. But that rounds out the full 75 at the moment. We're going to go ahead and start into a league, and I will see you guys for game one. All right, we got a match. So, set that here. Slide this back over. I don't know why that's sticking out there. We got 2 lands. Yeah, this actually looks pretty good. I'll go ahead and keep this. We've got the Utopia Sprawl so that we can play Ponder on turn 2. So it looks like opponent is on Affinity. We could also Ponder turn 1 if we want to. I think I would rather go ahead and play a Ponder this turn, and then next turn we can always Utopia Sprawl and Ponder. Go. This also helps conceal what we're playing a whole lot. So we see Brainstorm, Preordain, Spell Pierce. We've already got 2 counter spells, so I don't think we need the Spell Pierce. I don't think we actually want these cards. We want parts of our combo. We've already got another Ponder. And so I'll go ahead and shuffle these away. Perfect. We drew Presence of Gond, so that's half our combo. We just need to find a Midnight Guard and not die. Should be easy. Opponent, Chromatic Star. And they missed their second land drop. Perfect. Essence Warden. So we could play Forest, Utopia Sprawl on the island, name green, play the Essence Warden, play Ponder. Seems good. So Utopia Sprawl on the island. Oh shit, it has to go on a forest. Do we want to do that or do we want to get the Essence Warden online? Suppose we probably want to go ahead and Ponder first. Let's just see what we find. So we found our Midnight Guard, found another land, found a Brainstorm. So if we put the island on top, no, we probably want the Midnight Guard on top, that way we can draw it next turn. So put the Brainstorm, then the island, and the Midnight Guard. Don't shuffle. We'll hit our land drop for next turn. And this turn, I guess we'll just go ahead and play a Utopia Sprawl. I guess we can name green. We also could have named white just so that we don't have to play the forest and or the plains, and we can play the island next turn. Anyways, opponent cycles out the star. Plays another star. And passes back. That is no good for them. Alright, well, we definitely want to get the Midnight Guard into play. So let's play our plains. Go ahead and see here, 1, 2, 3, 4 mana, so we can play Essence Warden and Midnight Guard this turn. So we'll go ahead and start with the Essence Warden. And we'll go ahead and put out the Midnight Guard as well. And the jig is up. If they didn't know what we were doing before, they know now. If they have a Galv Blast, they don't actually have Metalcraft. They they might just be in the gutter here, honestly. They can kill the Essence Warden, but we still get yeah. Yeah. That's not gonna do it, opponent. So we'll play a land. And we'll just leave up Island, so they think we have Counterspell up. We'll go ahead and put the Presence of Gond on the Midnight Guard, just like we intended. Oh my god, use the damn mana moto. And we'll pass back. The elves won't be able to attack this turn, so it doesn't really do us a whole lot of good to play it, and the opponent scoops them up. Awesome. So we take down game one against Affinity. Opponent unfortunately stuck on one land after, multiple cycles. Hopefully Moto doesn't freeze and it lets me sideboard. Wonderful. All right, I've actually got a little sideboard guide on my phone that I did for Affinity and Chatterstorm and Blue-Black. So against Affinity, looks like we want the Hydroblast. We want Moment's Peace, Return to Nature. And we want a Dispel. And we want to take out Spell Pierces, one of each Warden. So 3 Spell Pierces. 1 Soul Warden. 1 Essence Warden. 1 Bodyguard, 1 Echoing Truth. 1 Bodyguard. And 1 Echoing Truth. And I don't know if that's right. I didn't spend a whole lot of time on the sideboard guide for this, but it seems good enough to go ahead and try it at least. And 60. And we'll go ahead and submit. Alright, game 2. Hopefully the opponent will have some lands and we won't have another non-game. So we've got half our combo, we've got 2 protection pieces, 1 ramp piece, we've got no green mana, no blue mana. So we can cycle the Ash Barrens to get blue online for Brainstorm, but I don't know if it's actually great. I feel like we can do better on 6th than this. one forest and a bunch of blue spells. I kind of worried about this happening. We're gonna go ahead and throw this one back as well. Go to 5. Utopia Sprawl. Yeah, this actually seems pretty good. So we need to put 2 cards back. We can put back 1 forest and a bodyguard. Or a forest and a soul warden. I think a forest and a bodyguard. Ugh. So we'll just lead off on our duel. Well, maybe we should go ahead and get this Utopia Sprawl cooking. No, I definitely want to get this out here, because I'm going to want to use that blue mana next turn. So, opponent Prophetic Prism. They at least made it to 2 lands this game. So another Utopia Sprawl. That's actually pretty decent. So we'll play the Forest. We'll play a Utopia Sprawl on Rhinewood Falls. And we will name green. That way we can play an additional Utopia Sprawl and a Brainstorm. Name green. So we'll tap it for blue. We'll go ahead and actually, we won't use that yet. We'll go ahead and brainstorm first. That way if we hit a Arbor Elf, we can go ahead and play that out. And we did. We hit an Arbor Elf. So we definitely like Moment's Peace. We don't have a way to shuffle, but we do have another Brainstorm coming up. So I'm playing Arbor Elf this turn. If I want to get rid of anything, it's probably Soul Warden, so we'll put back Soul Warden and Moment's Peace, just so they can't rip that out of our hand. And we'll play out the Arbor Elf. I gotta learn how to play faster. I am considerably down on clock. I'm bored. Alright, there we go. Arbor Elf hits the battlefield. We'll pass back. Clan Shaman. No, that's fine. I think he brought in the same hate that he would for the Squirrel Storm deck, probably, which I knew was a thing for this deck, that it might catch overlapping hate from Squirrel Storm, but we are a little bit more resilient to that hate because we can just go off again. We don't use all of our resources to go off. Opponent, pretty aggressive turn here, putting 6-7 power on the board, including the Shaman. We'll see what we draw here. Oh, that's right, the Moment's Peace that we knew about. Alright, so if we put the Utopia Sprawl here, this taps for 3, and we'll have up to 6 available, so we can Brainstorm. We know that there's a Warden on top. So this do we want to, we probably want to go ahead and get the Warden out this turn. I don't think we're in risk of dying. We don't absolutely need to hold up Moment's Peace. So we could put Utopia Sprawl here. Pay this. So kind of want to name white. Kind of need to name white. Unfortunately, we'll go ahead and tap for blue. And we'll cast the Brainstorm now. So it's pretty nice. We get another land, and then we get to untap this and have 3 mana up. play this, play the tap land, put back forest, moment's peace, hold up prohibit. So play that. Go ahead and play out the Soul Warden. And we will pass. Opponent goes to combat. So I could put a block on the Cart Clan just to make him activate that now. I think that's actually not a terrible idea. So we'll go ahead and offer the trade. He might have a Galv Blast or something that he wants to use it on, but we'll go ahead and block like that. We'll try to take 6. So we'll go ahead and untap this with Arbor Elf before Arbor Elf dies. And then I'll let that resolve. These two both die anyway. Arbor Elf dies. So a Tog, I definitely want to go ahead and counter that. So we do have the Moment's Peace. Unfortunately, I'm pretty sure that means there's still a forest up after this. So we'll pass back. They're only attacking for 6 at this point, so they would have to have 2 Galv Blasts to kill me, 2 out of 3 cards in hand. I think it's still worth using our mana this turn, though. Opponent with a Frog Might. Seat of the Synod, pretty great. They're down to 1 card in hand. We still have a Moment's Peace in the graveyard. Unfortunately, we're probably going to have to use it this turn. And we know that we have a forest on top of our deck. So I'll hold the land just in case we find another Brainstorm. And I'll go ahead and pass back. So since they're not attacking for lethal, I think I kind of want to leave the Moment's Peace in the graveyard. Tree line, not what we are looking for. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we don't have enough to play full combo in 1 turn. I think I'm still going to hold the land though, because again, if we draw a Brainstorm, we're probably going to want to put back both of these lands. Obviously, well, it looked like they were tapping a red mana. What you doing over there, buddy? Opponent this time attacking for lethal. So this time we have no choice. We have to go ahead and fire off this Moment's Peace. Opponent, another Krark Clan. Damn, that card's hard to fucking pronounce. We're gonna have to tap that down for blue. Play with Ponder. So we get a Midnight Guard, Brainstorm. Don't actually know that we have any outs. We could hit another Moment's Peace, I suppose. So I'll put back Island. Island. Midnight Guard. Rainstorm. Don't shuffle. Oh shit, we don't have more blue mana. Oh, that's a terrible move. Oh, we died. Shit. Alright, mana's definitely a little tricky in this deck, but we'll go ahead and go to game 3. I don't think we really saw anything that makes us want to change anything. We'll go ahead and run it back. Oops. Yes, we would like to play first, please, and thank you. 4 lands, ramp, Rainstorm, Bodyguard. It's not great, but it's not terrible either. Opponent hold to 6. We'll go ahead and get the tree line out. That way next turn we can have all our colors. If we decide we want to play a bodyguard, we can. Opponent, tap land and pass. Preordain, you say. So I think here I want to play out the forest and then put the Utopia Sprawl on tree line and name blue. And then we can go ahead and preordain and play bodyguard. So land and, oh shit, I should have done that in the other order so that I could have avoided Brainstorm lock. So Essence Warden and land, really not what we're looking for, especially on the land. Warden's probably not the worst draw in the world, but I kind of want better interaction or our combo. Seems great. We'll go ahead and put out the bodyguard. And we'll pass back. Opponent Prophetic Prism. That is fine. Hey, we found our Midnight Guard. Yeah, if the opponent doesn't have multiple interaction spells, they might just be dead here, honestly. So we've got 1, 2, 3, up to 4 mana. So I want to play the blue out, that way I still have Brainstorm up if the Midnight Guard dies. We'll go ahead and go to combat. We'll attack with the Bodyguard. And we'll play out our Midnight Guard. And we'll pass back, hope for the best. So hopefully the opponent taps down for basically anything. That way they can't have multiple Galv Blasts or anything like that up. But if they have multiple Galv Blasts, they should probably just use it now. Opponent plays Prophetic Prism. Fine by me. So we'll wait for end step. We'll go ahead and fire off the Brainstorm. Ooh. Put back 2 lands and hope this all works out right. So we could go ahead and ponder first just to see if we find any kind of extra interaction. Hydroblast, that is exactly the interaction I was speaking of. Arc Shaman. Well, he can't kill our Midnight Guard with that because we have the Bodyguard. But if he has a Galv Blast, he could get it done here. So we'll go ahead and activate. Unfortunately, this is going to eat up a lot of our clock. Luckily, we have 5 minutes left to do this. So if I sacrifice in response, he can just activate it again. If I just let it go now, we just untap. Galv Blast? Don't do it. Don't do it. Oh no, we don't have our Hydro Blast up. Alright. Gross. We do get a 1/1 elf. Okay, Rainstorm. We'll go ahead and fire this off. Put back land. Land. Unfortunately, if we play out Soul Warden, we don't have anything up, and right now we only have one thing up anyways. So we'll go ahead and pass back. So I think it's probably a pretty good idea to play a Soul Warden here. Opponent cycles off their star. We are down to 3 minutes on the clock, unfortunately. Fiery Cannonade. kind of want to just let that go. That way we don't die to a Tog next turn. So at end of turn, we can go ahead and Pyro or Hydroblast the Cart Clan. Yeah, definitely don't want to let them have that. That would be a no. Hydroblast, counter target spell if it's red. That red spell right there. Ooh. I'm gonna go ahead and counter that. Don't really want them drawing extra cards here. So we got Hydroblast the Shaman so he doesn't take out our bodyguard, but I actually kind of want to have them use that on him anyway. That way I don't have to Hydroblast it. So he does go ahead and use the cart plan. So that kind of worked out how I wanted it to, even though we've only got one more turn now to find something here. Yeah. I think we might have died. Yeah. That would be the end of that. We lost a close one to Affinity. We just kind of ran out of gas there at the end. kinda sucks. Off to a not so great start. 1-2 versus Affinity. We'll see if we can salvage some wins out of this league and see if this Bant version does any better than that green-white version of Midnight Gond. Thank you guys so much for watching.